A few days ago, I received a mystery box from the guys at Golf Clubs for cash. And the driver that I had, fair to say, I've never thought about putting in my bag. Not just because it's Titleist head, not just because it's a mega upgrade shaft, but because it has something on it which I've never had before. And I actually hit some really good drives with it. You can see here I hit some nice, strong, some long drives as well. But the fact that I feel like I can hit more fairways with this, should I put something like this in the bag? Should you put something like this in the bag? Guys, get in the comments below and let me know, as I peel one down the left side of that fairway, would you put a more lofted driver in the bag, potentially with an upgraded shaft in here, to see if you can get nice high launch, potentially low spin, and longer, straighter drives? That's what we're going to find out in today's video. We're taking on the back nine here at Woolley Park Golf Club. We've just hit one down the left-hand side of the 10th fairway. Guys, if you want to see the mystery box challenge, then make sure you do check out the link in the description below, because that was a lot of fun. And it's opened up a few eyes to improve potentially my game and yours. And you see, what I really like about the challenge that I did is that you don't have to spend a fortune on, to be honest, some good second-hand clubs. These clubs would have cost an absolute fortune when brand new, but because you get them second-hand, you don't quite spend as much money, so it leaves you more money, potentially for lessons. But back to today's video, am I going to hit more fairways? There's 8 par 4s on this back nine. Can I hit 6 or 7 fairways? I did this test with a Tour Edge Exotics driver, a mega forgiving driver, and it went really well. I'm starting to wonder if I should go more down that route, and especially having a Titleist driver with a bit more loft on it, would I sacrifice a bit of distance to hit fairways like this? Because you see, I've got around 150 yards in here in the fairway. If I had a lower lofted, less forgiving driver, that may well have not come back for me and gone in there. I've also got the brand new Costco balls today, guys, the V3. If anyone wants to see a video on that, that is also live on the channel now. Is there a huge difference? Find out in that video. Next hole is an interesting one. I never seem to hit this fairway. Today we need to aim at John, just down in the middle there. But can this driver help me? And a lot of people might well be thinking, James, why don't you just do this on a simulator? Find out if your dispersion's better, find out what your ball rates are, your spin rates, ball speed and everything else. But I'm a massive believer that that's all good and well, but you only get one chance out on a golf course. And if you generally hit the fairway more often than not with that one chance, that's a lot more valuable than finding out if the ball goes a little bit further or a tiny bit straighter on a simulator. Right, John's probably going to hope we miss this fairway because he's mowing the fairway, and this would be in his way, but sorry, John, times must. We need to kind of turn this over just a touch. Start right, little draw. Can we get the movement with more loft? Stay there. Oh, I hate this tee shot. Like, I've tried to, you know what it might be? It's going to be close, but it's not down there, and that's one of the things that it's actually easier to move this because it's got a little bit more loft on it, but I still think that's out to the right. It's still going to be in play. When I did this test with the Tour Edge, it was a funny one because I didn't hit this fairway, but again, it's almost like half a point because it's not really that important being the fairway, is it? As long as it's not like in deep rough. Now, guys, if you do want to go and find yourself some second-hand clubs, make sure you do go check out the guys at Golf Clubs for Cash. We've recently started doing quite a bit of content together, and I'm really enjoying it. There's something so enjoyable and fun about playing good golf and, where's the hole for this one there, saving a bit of cash. And John's going to be really happy there because it's nowhere near that centre stripe that he's cutting so accurately. It is unfortunately in the rough just here, and that is quite a way back of where I would anticipate to be. We've got probably 180 yards in here, so that wasn't a great drive for me at all. We're into the wind a little bit. That's not going to help matters. I mean, is it too far away? It's not horrendous, is it? But I mean, it's better than being in there. That's generally where I do go when I'm trying to get one down there. Unfortunately, that is 1 out of 2. Right, a couple of bonus holes here for you. This is for me the hardest driving hole on the golf course. I've just driven past it and realised it's actually empty, so why not do this challenge on here? The last thing you want to do is be too far back here to be able to get up on that green in 2. You can see it's 432 yards, huge tree on the right hand side, a really narrow fairway at your driving distance. And this could be where it really helps. Just hit it that little bit straighter. I don't really want a lot of movement on this. I just want to hit that fairway. Is that more loft going to help? Obviously, this is adjustable as well. We have the Sure Fit hosel on here. So I could maybe even crank it up if I wanted to. I feel like I'm going to hit down on it just a little bit more to get it launching lower. That steeper angle of the tackle helped that, but it might put more spin on it. So it might make it rise, which is a bit of an oxymoron because that's exactly what we're trying not to do. Oh yeah. Oh, be good. That is just what we want. And personally, I don't feel like that ball flight was too high. I mean, it certainly wasn't low. So 2 out of 3 ain't bad. That's quite a good drive for distance as well. We've only got around 160 yards into this, what I think is the hardest hole on the golf course. We'll take that all day. Right, let's go and find some more difficult tee shots and see if this could be the answer. The answer's obviously lessons and practice, isn't it? But a answer. Okay, this hole is the longest hole on the golf course, par 5, just short of 600 yards all downhill, and it actually narrows up near the driving area, so you do need to be accurate if you're going to hit driver, and that is obviously what we're going to do for today's test. Little spoiler alert as well, I actually hit a bit of a poor one for the mystery box video on here, one of the only bad drives really that I did hit. Right, instead of kind of trying to hit it low this time, let's just let it ride, let it go, send it up into orbit. Keep coming back. Another one peeling down that left side, that's going to be close. I think that's okay, you know. Let's get down there and see. They're not middle of the fairway, but they're in the fairway. I must admit, guys, I'm not sure if this is having the desired effect for me. Comment below, would you try this? Would you try a more lofted driver that potentially could help? And would you try a more forgiving driver? I wouldn't not normally go TSI2 with the weight at the back. Is it helping? I'm not sure yet. So it's another close one, but I'm taking that all day. This actually opens the hole up nicely, so letting it just go higher for me certainly feels like I'm more in control of it rather than trying to play it down. I think use the loft that you've got on it carefully rather than trying to manipulate the club to do something it's not trying to do. That's what I've come to terms with so far. That is 3 out of 4. Let's go find another hole. Oh, there's some beauties coming up, guys, stay tuned. Okay, why not follow up a par 5 with another one? This is a bit tighter. We want to be aiming kind of at that big tree with a little bit of draw. You can't really go over the corner from this very back tee. A lot of the time the tee is further forward here, but really you just want to be hitting it at that tree in the distance. Par 5, so again, you want kind of distance down there. You don't want this just to be a fairway finder. If you are pushing on for a score, I want to try and get this moving right to left. I've not been able to do that with this club. I feel like that's sometimes when I play my best golf. Just kind of rake it down that fairway. It's just stayed bang straight again. It's going to be all right. It's going to be in the fairway, but it's literally hit that tree I told you about, which is in the fairway. But I can't get it moving. Like, if I go paradigm, triple diamond, I certainly feel like I can get this just turning over, even if it's a little bit toey. And I know I said earlier that it should be easier with more loft to get it moving, but I've not found that. I've not been able to really do it. Like, I feel like with the paradigm, see, that's just moving a little bit to the left. Very similar shots, very similar trajectories. And I'll be really interested to see the difference in distance in those. Is there a huge difference? I mean, there should be. It's 2 totally different drivers. Look how far forward that weight is and how far back that weight is. And there's 2 degrees of loft difference as well. So as I mentioned earlier on in this video, guys, obviously I think the answer is to spend a bit more time on mine or your golf if you're struggling with something. But it is nice just to have different clubs to play around with, isn't it? Would you put a different club in the bag? Let me know. So we have a couple of balls in the fairway and they're bang next to each other. I think, to be honest, they're both clattered into this tree and both took very similar bounces. Okay, that is 4 out of 5 fairways hit so far, and actually it's quite interesting because the golf course is set up today for a competition from yesterday, and the guys were saying it never really plays much longer than this. So the fact that I've not had too far into these holes as well, I think it'd be a really interesting thing to see what we would shoot if this was the mindset, going out thinking, right, I'm going to do what it takes to hit that fairway, be that a softer swing, be that a more forgiving driver, be that a driver that's potentially got a little bit more loft on it to help me control the ball flight better. All these boxes ticked, you would think it might lower your scores unless you're 30 yards further up in the rough. But then if you hit a couple out of bounds, that's going to dramatically hurt your score. And one thing I'll say today is there's not a breath of wind as well. So this test on another day might be very, very different, but this is a hard hole. You need to get this working left to right realistically. With the Tour Edge driver, we nearly took the post out of the ground. It is stroke index 1 this, 400 yards up the hill. What is that? That's the one for me where that's gone absolutely nowhere in the right-hand rough, because it's come out of here. It's literally come out of there. It didn't feel like a horrendous strike as well, but there's that much loft on that and there was that much spin on that. That ball's gone nowhere, and that is in a world of pain. That's 4 out of 6. Right, I think I know what we need to do to finish this video off. You know what? It's not that far back. I thought that was further back. It's probably 20 yards back of where you would want to be. It must be something to do with when John's here, because I don't want to leave the ball on the fairway for him. But that certainly isn't ideal. Like I said, that's 4 out of 6. We're going to finish this video off with, yep, we're back. This hole has my number, but I want to know if realistically I should just commit to the driver that I've been using rather than thinking about changing to more forgiveness, more loft. You know what, some tests work and some tests don't work, and that's the beauty about doing tests like this. You get to discount something if it doesn't work. Has my driving been that bad? Am I looking for an excuse? Am I just looking for a new driver, to be honest, which might be what a lot of people do? Funnily enough, that bird's still on that line from earlier. Moved down a bit, but yeah, 1 feet. But let's send some drives down here. I'll go Paradigm first, actually. I'll try and set one as a marker. Again, need to try and get it turning right to left in an ideal world. That bird's probably not safe on that line, actually, but shouldn't be a problem. Come on, nice swing. Let's get it down there. It's so good, it's just leaking again, just a touch. That's going to be the same kind of line as the last one we hit down here, but I would imagine further down. Right, we're going to go after this one as well. If this is down with that ball but in the fairway, then there's definitely something in this, because I hit that Paradigm really good. Oh, I've got it. That's the one. Yes! That's the one. I'm going to be interested to see the distance difference here, because if it's not a lot, then this test actually makes more sense than what I thought it was making 15 seconds ago. Let's go find out. I think that's on the centre line as well. Good job John's not cutting that now. And I'll tell you what, guys, that has massively put the cat amongst the pigeons, because not only is it in the fairway with the 11-degree more forgiving driver, as you can see there, bang near the centre line, but it's actually outdriven my Paradigm Triple Diamond, only by like a couple of yards, but obviously the rough's going to have slowed that down, isn't it? Guys, thanks so much for watching. What do you think? Is that worth thinking about more? Would you try a driver that's got a little bit more loft on it, potentially a bit more forgiving as well? If you enjoyed that, smash that subscribe button below. Make sure you check out the link below for the mystery box and for Golf Clubs for Cash if you want some second-hand golf clubs for your own. And apart from that, I'll see you all at the same time tomorrow. Goodbye.